make all the demons quiet. Yeah, we were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet. Yeah, we were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live life on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation.
There we go. Uh-oh. We're in trouble now. There's a bulldog in the... Hey,
Good
what,
evening, gentlemen.
Oh, boy. Yeah, B Charming here. Autumn Leaf. Copycat. Live in the moment. Live in the moment.
Fan's not too loud, is it?
No. ER's in chat. Yeah, there's a lot kind of last moment thing where I got this thing going. Instead of being over on the Bushcrafty channel today, doing trivia or whatnot. I thought this would be kind of more interesting. I went and got me a new chair at Goodwill today, so trying to still fill it out. Seems like the dang armrests are for short people. I'm like, there's no armrest here, and I have to go down like this to put my arms down.
Yep, I finally got me one where I guess it's kind of like what you're talking about. The armrest can adjust up, and oh man, that made a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking and I don't see no adjustment for these, unfortunately. It's a solid metal thing though, so hopefully it lasts me. Because I got a regular gaming chair, and wasn't even 4 hours in it, and the dang thing broke. So they sent me another one.
Yeah.
Put it all together and everything, set it down. A day and a half and it broke. I'm like, what the hell? And it broke in the same spot. So I'm like, these are really crappy designs, whoever made this. And I ended up getting my money back, but I still have the chairs and they're out in the garage. And I took the chair part and put it on a couple tires and set it down. That way I could have a place to sit down when I'm out there.
I got you. It's a pretty cool thumbnail. I guess we should call you Bushwick.
Yeah, I did that thumbnail for a video I did a week or so ago, and I thought, I'll just change the words around and make it for a thumbnail for tonight.
I know a movie that comes to my mind when you say SHTF that maybe some people wouldn't think about. A Blast from the Past with Brendan Fraser.
I don't know. See if
where
I can bring it up.
His dad was like a prepper, and it was like the big room.
Yeah. That was actually a good movie, comedy.
Yeah.
And he comes out like 15, 20 years later or something like that.
Yeah, and still wearing like the same clothes and like talking the same way.
Yeah.
Never seen it.
Oh, that's a good movie. You should watch it.
You probably like it.
Blast from the Past. Let me see if it's on.
But I've been noticing something. They sure is a whole lot of them movies coming out here lately.
They got it on. Yeah, it's actually free to watch.
Please don't say Netflix.
No, Amazon.
I don't even know.
It's a 1999 movie too.
Really?
Wow, really?
Yeah. Alicia Silverspoon's in it. Christopher Walken. Yeah,
Yep.
that's the dad. I don't remember who the mother is though.
Hello,
I
Sharon
want to say,
Murphy.
it was. I could picture her face, but I can't remember her name.
Don't you hate when that happens? See, that goes to show you that you're getting old too. You haven't seen your moments.
Oh, there she is, Sissy Spacek.
Yeah, there you go.
Carrie.
Hey, don't you put that on me, Bear Truth.
Well, he ain't got as far to go as Bushcraft does.
Yeah, I thought it was be a good little subject because what I wanted to do is do some movies and then critique their prepping skills or their survival skills in the movies, but little thing I did to try to even just do little 10-second clips, I got blocked from the United States and all kinds of stuff. I'm like, crap.
Don't you have a VPN?
Huh?
Do you have a VPN?
That has nothing to do with uploading the video.
Okay.
Yeah, there's so many loops and things that you have to do, and it's really hard to. I don't see how a lot of these people put like 30 seconds of a movie on and don't get in trouble for it.
Do you remember the 1995 movie called The Outbreak?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. With the monkey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Cuba Junior guy?
Yeah.
Playing chicken with the bomber?
Dustin Hoffman, Kevin Spacey, Morgan Freeman.
Yeah. That was a good movie.
Yeah, it was. And if you'll notice how those old movies, how a lot of that shit is coming into play today.
Oh, yeah. Now, one of the movies that I wanted to do, and I suggest people go and check it out if they can. It's After the End. Now, it's kind of realistic. It's about a 17-year-old kid. He was, before things went bad, he was a doomsday prepper in Oklahoma. And turns out everybody made fun of him and stuff because he prepped things and whatnot. It's Oklahoma, so everybody has a shelter out there. So he had it all stocked up, and something happened, be it from China or whatever, and people started disappearing. We'll put it that way. And he was pretty much by himself, and the neighboring area had water for him to go over. So he went out every day and got water and whatnot. And it showed him growing a garden and everything, which was iffy. It's made for TV or a movie, because his gardening skills weren't that good. And we all know, even in a city, if you grow something in a city, there's going to be things that eat it. And he was out in the boonies, and he's growing a garden and didn't put fence around it or anything. And he goes back one day and it's all ate up. There's a yard, but he's not. There it is.
Hey.
What's up, Eric?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Oh, well.
Good.
And the one thing that I seen that he was actually very smart about, and it was something that if a diseased world, we'll put it that way, came about, he was foraging. So when he was going into people's places, he was wearing protective gear over his face and his eyes, and he had gloves on. And I thought that was spot on, because so often you see these movies where they just go in and they're pilfering through the cupboards and stuff like that, and they're supposed to be these diseases and stuff, or the other things. And the thing is, you don't know how long that stuff stays on the surfaces or anything like that. So to be safe, you would want to have protection when you go into places. And that's what he did.
On Lysol,
well,
Clorox.
All that stuff would be no good. This is years after civilization pretty much died off. So, unless you had bleach that was in powder form, bleach is no good anymore.
Okay.
But there's other ways of sterilizing and whatnot. Now vinegar, if you could find vinegar is a great, it doesn't go bad unless you leave it open and stuff like that.
Now, are we talking white vinegar or are we talking apple cider vinegar?
Either way, it's still the same. It's still the same thing. It's just made differently.
Hey, Art. Hello, Miss B.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Hello, Trust.
And if you guys are wondering, there's if you're looking for something in the daytime to go check out, he has a very good stream in usually around 12 o'clock Eastern. And he had a good one today was Mandela effect. And I've always enjoyed that. So it was very interesting.
I think you shared that out, right, Bush?
Yeah. I interviewed him a few weeks ago. Yeah.
I have a question. As far as the were you talking liquid chlorine? Were you talking liquid? What liquid were you talking about that can go bad? Is it vinegar?
Bleach.
Bleach. Well, bleach is basically stabilized. Well, unstabilized chlorine.
Yeah, it's only, well, if you look on, go get your bottle. It has an expiration date on it.
Right.
Which surprised me. I was like, really? So I went and dug into it and did a lot of research about it. And in 6 months, even that bottle that doesn't expire maybe in a year, even in 6 months, it dissipates its strength.
Right. When I use a chlorine bleach, not all the time, but it's in the granulated form in a bag, and that apparently lasts a lot longer than. I don't know, because it's the way it's manufactured, or I have no idea. But I just thought I'd throw that out there. Maybe you know more about it than I do.
Yeah, powder bleach is, if you can get a hold of it and seal it up, that stuff will last a hell of a lot longer than any bleach.
This is pool bleach. This is stuff that you broadcast on. Yeah, but it's all
like the same thing technically.
Right. It's like all in like these little tiny squares, perfect squares, but they're small. And I've used stuff that's 3 years old that still works. So
yeah,
I don't know if you can use that to purify water in a pinch. Just a little bit, stir it. I don't know, but
it depends. It depends if there's nothing else in it. because there just like the shock stuff for pools.
Right.
There are some that you could use for that purpose, but there, like I said, there are some that has other stuff in it.
Right.
And if you're, and I'm always the number one way I would purify water is always boil it.
Yep.
It's
But doesn't that take something out of the water though? When you boil it?
well, yeah. It depends how much you boil it too, because you only have to get it to a rolling boil, and then you can stop.
And you can drink it, right?
Yeah. Then there's the I forget how long you and it has to be in a certain container too.
Right.
And it's to turn the water to where
Right.
all the nutrients and all that stuff is out of it.
Right. Well, what I can say to chat, what I've learned from Bush is I moved all of my water off of a garage, off of any concrete floor. All of it.
Yeah.
I mean, all of it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of water. And, you know, it's I guess the deeper you dive, the more you know, obviously. But there's a lot of things that your average Joe doesn't know. And
Oh yeah.
you know, that's why I support you guys. And because I didn't know that.
I love, finding something new out, because it's like, ooh, and I dive into it and find out everything I can about it.
Right.
And
And
that's why I kind of did the movie thing, is because so much stuff you can learn from a movie that, oh, I didn't know that, And then you can say, well, I don't, is it real or is it not real?
Right.
And that's the good thing,
Mhm.
because right now, unfortunately, there are a lot of these channels, prepper channels, have moved away from that stuff, and they basically watch the news, and then they come over and get in front of the camera and report what the news just said.
Right.
And a lot of it is mainstream news, and that's the biggest disease there is that mainstream media.
Exactly. What I saw last night, and I don't watch him because I don't like him, but I'm not even going to mention his name. He starts with an H. But all of the stuff that's been, well, I don't even want to get into it. I don't want to mess your channel up. But if you're watching news, you're watching propaganda. But anyway, I just see B saying something about chlorine tablets. Yes, they're good. I get them. And I think the reason why they're on sale, because B only lives about an hour and a half from me. We're in a drought right now, so there's not a big run on them.
Oh yeah.
If you got rain, you've got, you need chlorine in your pool to keep the, algae and whatever. So that's just speculation on my point. But I think was it not last year, Bush, that there was a giant chlorine plant that blew up, or the year before?
Yeah. And a lot of places, their chlorine, the pool supplies went through the roof.
Yeah.
I know quite a few people that were draining their pools because they couldn't afford it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I got so much flack for this when I did that little thing. You might be a prepper if.
Yeah.
And I
Really?
said that if I look at my map, Google Maps, and I point out where all of the swimming pools are in my area in case, bad stuff happens, and that's the easiest place to get water.
Right.
Oh, you're getting all them chemicals that are in that water. I'm like, really? It's not like I'm going to go over there and stick my head in the swimming pool and start drinking. I would collect the water and then take it home and boil it.
Right. Well, one thing.
Well, you would mainly collect water too.
Go ahead, Jeff.
You would mainly collect water at swimming pools to flush your commodes and kind of like, let's say, wash your dishes.
Yep.
Because you're going to boil the water for hot water anyway.
Believe it or not, if you're in the city, you have maybe a month. I wouldn't even give it that much. And you won't be able to flush your toilets.
Yeah, the pressure will be gone.
Well, see, that's what
No, I mean, even if you have water, that septic has to go somewhere. And if you don't have pumps running and clearing that, because it goes to a plant. And if everybody fills up them pipes going to that plant, when you flush, it's going to come back up.
Right.
And a lot of people don't realize that living in a city and stuff.
Right.
Depending where you're living, if you're in a low area, your toilets are going to overflow from everybody up on the hills.
I'll let Jack in. I'll be right back.
And they used to put traps to where you could shut off stuff coming back in. And we're finding out that a lot of these cities are not putting in traps because they cost too much. So when your building across the way gets backed up and it ends up in your toilet, it was a faulty trap or something, even though there was no trap.
Yeah.
Just like in the city here, we have our major street that comes into the city here is all tore up because all of a sudden all the pipes are breaking. They're over 120 years old.
Big Charming said she don't have no pump for her septic because she bought her own septic. Well, I'm going to say this right here. If you ain't got no power, it's going to back up also.
There's stuff you can do. And like I said, I'm not an expert, but I do know because I lived out in the country and I had a trailer that I moved onto this property, and we'll put it this way. It wasn't a legal septic system. It was a couple 55-gallon drums, and I lived with 5 kids in a trailer. Well, it was more like a trailer and some add-ons, but I lived there without blocking the septic in that place for 8 years before I had to put a septic in. And the only reason I put a septic in is because somebody found out that I had 55-gallon drums for a septic. Now, the trick is knowing how to get rid of the waste. And one way is ground beef, raw ground beef, and yeast. You mix that together and flush it down the toilet. That stuff combined will eat your waste. So it turns it into liquid, so it'll leach out as what it's supposed to do. So there, like I said, there's ways to treat your septic so it doesn't back up.
The next best thing to do is build you an outhouse.
Yep.
Well, with the outhouse, you have to dig a hole.
Well, think about it. You better go get you a backhoe or a two-man auger and start digging.
I don't know. I've had to dig those by just a regular shovel and a pickaxe.
Oh, I have too.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But also,
And I have also went in. I have also sat in one and got stung by yellow jackets. That ain't fun.
Yeah. How deep? Depends how many's going to be using it. I think
True.
I would go 2 feet per person.
2 feet, hell. When you get old, you better go about 5 foot per person.
I think if you was to go about 10 or 15 feet, I think that would suffice for most families' needs.
Yeah, agreed. But make sure it's a good ways from the house too, and away from your well. You know, because you don't want it seeping in your well water either.
Yep.
I apologize. What did I miss? You guys talking about digging a shitter or what?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
One thing I did since Jeff brought this up is I went and checked out some property, and I'm checking around because it had a well and septic and it sounded great. Yeah. And I asked him, we looked around, and because the grass was up pretty high, and I'm asking him where the well is, and we found the well, and I said, now where's the septic? And we're looking around, and he goes and trips over the septic, which was 6 feet away from the well.
Oh no!
I said, no, thank you.
Right.
Because it was already used. So if it was brand new, I would have just said, okay, and put the septic somewhere else. But
Look,
being 6 feet away, you just contaminated your well.
exactly. Exactly. And depending on how long that septic's been there, yeah, I would not want to drink that water.
Oh.
Nope.
And it would also all depend on how bad the situation was. If it was not as bad where you could stay in one location and do something like that, but imagine if it was like the Book of Eli style, where you just constantly on the move, you know?
Oh yeah.
Right.
You ever seen that movie?
Oh yeah. That was a good movie too.
Yeah.
Hello, Agent Jay.
James, how the hell are you?
Hello, dude. Hold my beer. Yeah.
I think like most things that we've never seen before, we can only imagine it so far. You know, actually experiencing it and living it. Hopefully, we don't have to. But
yeah, and that's the thing. People watch these movies and think, oh, it won't be that bad. And
Right.
Bullshit.
it'll be as bad as you can think it is.
Very, very seldom you see a movie which irritates the hell out of me. I know it's a movie and everything, but when there hasn't been nobody around for 10 years, we'll say 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
who's cutting all the grass on the highways?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That irritates me to go. Very seldom you'll see where they show cities that are all grown up and and things like that. But majority of the time, they're walking on grass that's been cut.
They used to have a show like that. I think it was on the Discovery Channel or the History Channel.
Oh,
I think it was called When Nature Takes Back or When Nature Takes Over.
Yeah.
It would like show like if
something without man for 20 years or something.
Yeah,
like that.
like New York City if nobody was there for 20 years or something. Yeah.
I mean, you got vines growing out of the building. You got grass, about nice trees.
Yeah, it's kind of like I don't want to say his name because he's an idiot, but the WS actor that
I Am Legend.
Suburban and, was trying to solve the zombie problem.
Oh.
That's the way a city would look. It would grow up, and as people move out, animals move in. That's that is a perfect example of what would happen. So,
and that would suck to be the only one.
Yeah,
man, you ain't kidding.
And even if you're not the only one, you wouldn't know if it was something like that.
Yeah, you don't know the next town over. Or,
you could be a mile within somebody or a couple miles and not even know it.
Yeah.
That's kind of scary in a way.
I'm sorry, what? One thing I wanted to say, and I apologize, I'm in and out with my dog, but you all were talking about wells. My sister used to live in Deltona, which is not far from Daytona, and they've always had a well, and they've also had a septic system, and that septic system was connected to a debris field, which went right out on their front lawn.
Oh.
Way underneath. No, it worked for years. I mean, it worked properly. But my sister never drank tap water from her well. She always brought home 2.5-gallon jugs or square jugs that she'd sit on top of her fridge, which is I started doing too, because she didn't trust it. I mean, you can boil it and then cook with it. That's one thing. But I mean, straight.
Oh, yeah.
And again, this is anyone's personal preference. I'm not a scientist or whatever. But yeah. And Bush knows that I did a lot of plumbing lately. And I will no longer drink the water that comes through my galvanized pipe in my home that's 1920. That's when it was built. Because the buildup and it's normal buildup. It's not this anomaly. It's just normal buildup of shit that in the pipe. I will no longer give Jack the water either. I give him the bottled water, the 2.5-gallon stuff that I put in his water. And that's that. I mean, I'll shower in it. I'll brush my teeth with it, but I spit it out.
Yeah.
But it's everyone needs to check their water because it can be nasty.
Oh yeah, just because you get a report from the city how well your water is and whatnot, test it.
Right.
and don't take it to a tester that will try to get you into buying a water softener or something like that. Do a third party thing.
Yeah.
Now I saw something today where they said all the water was something like 84% contaminated. I'm not sure if that sounds like a high number or if that's close to being accurate or not.
Well, look at in California, the water that they get and then it gets flushed down a toilet and then gets to a water treatment place where it gets put back out into your tap water.
Right. They recycled water.
They're saying that people in LA have tasted or drank from recycled water from 87 different people. That's everybody in.
You would have to use California as an example.
Well,
but they deserve it.
that's just them, and there are some states that are even worse than that.
Oh yeah.
So
Right.
you're drinking from somebody that's relieved themselves 87 different people,
Right.
or 87 different times.
Well, now let's say two of them people had a disease. Okay. If a person was to drink that water,
Well,
would
if it hasn't been treated right, yes. But
exactly.
we live in a country now that we can trust the government.
Well, did you really want me to go off on that phrase right there? I mean, if you think you really trust the government, just ask the American Indians how well they trust the American government.
Right. But of course, we didn't have all that pollution then. Right. I agree with you, Jeff, but it's you really got to watch what you do.
Oh,
anymore.
definitely.
I mean, it's like, do I want to drink out of this? Now, there's someone in chat. If I'm Susie D, zero water tester, I tested faucet. Brita, zero water was the best reading. Okay, if you're able to screw that on to your, like in my kitchen, I've got a double stainless, and it's got this big ass long, faucet. I mean, the spout, and you can screw something on there. Now, if I could do that, that's great. But right now, no. I'm just.
I got a couple of those.
You're right. Loaded blankets were gifted to the native, but we're not allowed to say what was in them blankets up on here either.
Right.
You got there a tester?
It's a water tester.
I'd love to lay my hands on one of those. Where can I get one?
Amazon.
Oh, fuck Amazon.
How much something like that set you back?
$14, I do believe.
That's worth it.
It's
worth it.
It's probably up to 20 by now because everything that's happened in Ohio and whatnot.
Walmart sell it.
Excuse me.
I don't know.
They may be online. I doubt in store.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm sorry. If I buy something, I want to be able to put my hands on it right there and then and go to the checkout counter. I don't want to have to wait 1, 2, or 3 days for it to come through the mail. And UPS is fixing to go on strike. Hey, you may not never get it.
There's other things you need to worry about besides UPS.
Well,
Blackfoot, yes, you can go ahead and send me pictures if you want.
Right. And you know what, Jeff, I was just about to bring that up. I'm happy you did. I got multiple emails from multiple companies that sell pew-pews or whatever. We'll just leave it at that.
Right.
They're like, if you need whatever you need, you need to get it now. And I'm like, no, I don't need nothing. You know what I mean? But at least they're, and I'm like, I've never seen that before where a company actually warns previous customers about an impending strike.
Well, now
it's because a lot of people don't watch the news anymore because the news sucks. So
exactly. Now there is one company I deal with when it comes to that right there, and I cannot walk in the door and purchase it. It's only online. And I cannot tell you the name of it. I don't think.
No, that's fine.
But, I mean, hell, the main company is right down the road from me, probably about 15 minutes, And I know people who has dealt with this company and who has got, let's say, merchandise from them.
Right.
And they have no complaints.
Excuse me.
And when this show was over with, I'll ask Bushcraft in the back room, if I can mention the name. But I know I've mentioned it on my channel a time or two.
Let me put my glasses on. Jeff, there's a gentleman in chat, Raquel Toros. UPS is the only shipper of brass and lead. Well, that's true in some municipalities.
Now,
let's hope they don't strike.
Now, some of the UPS, FedEx companies like that, if they knew that they had certain items on their truck that went to pews, they would throw them in the trash. If you remember that a while back ago.
I believe you, but I don't remember that.
Yeah. I mean, they made a big stink over it, everything. And now you don't hear that much about it no more because it's got to where people will not use them. But what gets me,
are you talking about 2020, Jeff?
I think it was.
Okay, all right. I thought you were talking about pews. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, they was throwing them, parts for them. They were throwing them in the trash.
Right, I got you.
They was not being delivered. But what gets me is this right here. Let's say Dick's Sporting Goods or somewhere like that. How do they get their merchandise?
The same way everyone else does, on a pallet.
Exactly. So why wasn't theirs going in the dumpster also? See, that can be played two different ways right there.
You're right.
That the new thing is that PEX pipe.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I didn't do that, Bush. But
What?
I mean, I fixed when I needed to fix, but
when
something breaks again, I'm getting under there. I'm doing the whole house with PEX.
Yeah, that's because it expands. So if you're in areas where it freezes, you don't have to worry about it as much.
True.
I would, if I had to, I would go that route if I had to do both days. But right now,
my sister's wonderful husband that we love dearly did the PEX system under their house. So on his own, and it's worked it's worked great. So
it's called PEX pipe.
Right. But it's flexible. It's
they have it's color coded too. So red is for hot and blue is for cold.
Yep.
And you need a special tool to crimp it and whatnot.
Right.
And it's supposed to be 1,000 times better than PCV pipe. I'll get it out.
Who's ever in chat, I'm sorry if I was asking one person or another. It's just my experience.
Yeah, I had when I lived out in the country. It's not so much now, but when I lived out in the country, I had heat tape on a lot of, because it was a trailer, so anything under the trailer.
Right.
Of course, I had, which I got a lot of people around me whenever I did this was like, "You're nuts! What are you doing this for?" And everything. I laid plastic down and got cement and put over top of it so it would be an insulator. And when I did that, I had no problem with freezing pipes or anything after that.
Yeah, what I used was I had a couple of breaches in my galvanized pipe, maybe less than a size of a dime. I mean, and it was three-quarter pipe. So it was like multiple holes, like pop, 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 pop. In other words, like a sprinkler, like, and of course the pressure went to shit. So I sanded everything down, and I did a I forget what they call it. It's a wrap that you can get online, and it's a temporary wrap. And I did that purposely, knowing that it would be a temporary fix. However, being that I am an over whatever you want to call me, I went over the top of that a day later with fiberglass, which you use to build boats. And I wrapped and wrapped and wrapped and wrapped and put resin and resin and resin down on it. And that's stronger now than a galvanized pipe. So I'm just like, the $1,200 or $1,500 you wanted is, no longer needed. But, that applies to anybody.
Bushcraft, just yes or no. What do you think?
About what?
Never mind. Private chat.
Oh.
I thought you done read it.
Well, it's your
Okay.
name on there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's why I have you notice underneath my name I have @Bushcraft Family, because that's how you find people's channels now. You and then their channel.
How do you put that down there?
Look, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me ask you this. How did my name get changed? I ain't used that but one time, and that was a couple months back.
Somebody changed it.
Oh, really? Okay.
I didn't, but yeah. You just go into you change your name, edit name and headline, and then you'll see the headline underneath. And that's why I always have the because that's how you find people now, is that at symbol, their handle.
All right. Well, I left 01 off of mine. And I don't care about it's me, it's Jeffrey B. I got no problem with that one.
Another good one, getting back to the movie situation.
No.
Another good one is bird flu.
Yeah.
Bird flu.
Yeah. And again, they leave out a lot of stuff that would happen in real life and whatnot, but it kind of gives you a sense to where things can go. Because everybody knows we had issues with bird flu this year or last year. With it coming over, it started, of all places, in China, and you could track it, and it went from country to country.
Mm-hmm.
And then, it won't come over here because no birds will fly over the ocean. What happened? We lost millions of birds because if one bird gets it, they delete the whole flock.
The birds and the bees.
And in that movie, it basically starts out with, the bird flu jumps from the birds to the humans, and they start,
It was interesting the timing of that movie. I think that movie came out in 06, 07. It's kind of interesting with the timing and everything.
Yeah. Well, this another good one was Dragon Day, and it's very bad acting and everything, but some of the stuff it kind of wakes you up to what could happen. And Jeff is the one that told me about that movie. And
hell, I don't forgot about it.
well, they go out. It's well, one part you should remember is they don't have anything but potatoes, and he connects all the potatoes together so he can use the radio.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Man, I have watched so cotton picking many movies. I can't. There's no way I can remember all of them.
Oh yeah.
You know. But yeah, when you talking about the potatoes and doing the radio and everything, I do remember that part of the movie.
Yeah, it's kind of hard not to remember that part because
The Titanic.
and you noticed, and they had these wristbands that everybody, if you wanted food, you had to wear this wristband. So if you left your house, you would get like a chemical reaction would happen and it would burn you. And if you went too far, it would eventually kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And
now they had a movie out, something similar to that, to where if they went outside the zone, they would die.
Yeah, it was that movie, Jeff. You'll have to go back and watch it again.
Hell, I can't even remember the name of it to go back to watch it.
Dragon Day.
I think you have watched that.
It's a 2014 movie.
Oh, I know I've seen it, but I just unless you tell me the name of it like every 3 minutes, I'll forget about it.
Yeah, and like I said, there, and this guy's supposed to be some kind of engineer guy, and the local popo comes around and tells him that he has to wear this if he wants food. They give him a box of food, and they don't have the one issue they don't have is water. And there was a guy that lived next door to him, an old guy, but he was prepared, and they went after him. Some bad folks went after him because he was a prepper.
Yep. Now in this movie also, he had a hand pump, and you raise it up, you get water.
Yeah.
And the guy did not know how to change a plug in a car, and they told him to fix it, and he told them he didn't know how. They beat the shit out of him and told him, you got 24 hours to produce water.
Yeah. And somebody that doesn't know how those work is there's a leather inside there that creates a seal. And if there's no water in there, it shrinks. So all that pumping and everything doesn't do anything. You have to prime it.
Right.
You have to wet that leather so it creates a seal so you can pump.
And without water, you can't even prime it.
Exactly.
And I want to add to what Bush is saying. I have a Coleman stove that I had as a Cub Scout. So it's freaking old. It's green. It's got the things that, the sides that spring out.
Yeah.
It's a 2-burner.
Wind
it's got
blockers.
Little red tank in front.
Yeah.
And it wasn't running right. So I got on the tube, which is an awesome resource for learning. And I got a replacement kit, and it had, like what Bush was saying, the cork gasket and, the rubber gasket and all that other stuff. And I was able to pump it up. And it also said that you don't have to use liquid the gas, that kerosene. You can use unleaded gas. Right. So I took unleaded gas out of my can that I run my lawnmower and tractor, and it's safe can be. Safe, yes, Jeff, safe as can be. And it fired right up.
I'll be
So,
back.
I mean, that's just one little thing. You think your thing is broken, but it's not. Like Bush says,
Oh,
look
man.
into it, find something,
Yeah.
and it's a gasket, plunger.
Oh, what?
Sounds like rock fell off a building or something.
Did you fall in the water?
You all right, brother?
I wish I did. Forgot what I was about to say.
Sounds
let
like
it
you
come
dropped
back
your
to me.
phone down the well.
Yeah, I think it's like all the little things that we don't normally think about until we got to actually put them to use, you know?
Yeah.
But like I said, if you go to the tube and just type in "this isn't working," bang, it comes up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at mechanical stuff, and I had the 98 Expedition, and I had to change the one of the fan belts, and usually back in olden days we would loosen the alternator,
Right.
And then tighten the alternator, with the pry bar to tighten get the
belt on.
the belt tight. Well, nowadays there's it's a bit different. You have to find I forget what it's called, but
it's called a belt tensioner.
Yeah, that. And there's tricks to it. And I was studying this thing, and I didn't know the route that the belt had to go or anything at the time because I didn't pay attention to it,
right.
And it completely broke off and got slung out. So when I got the new belt, I'm sitting there looking at it and trying to figure out where the tracing
Where does it go?
Yeah. And so I went on YouTube, and boom, there it was, and he showed exactly where it goes through. And he says, you get you a 1/2 inch ratchet, and you put it on that tensioner, and you lift it this way, and it as soon as you do, you put the belt underneath of it, and let that go, and you're done. You don't have to loosen anything up or anything.
Right.
I'm like, oh, that's cool. And all I was looking for is the route it was supposed to go, because sometimes on your vehicle they'll actually put the diagram where the belt goes, because usually it's one big ass belt that goes all different directions through the water pump and through the AC alternator, all that stuff. And I just watched that, and he said, do this with the tensioner, and he said, you don't have to do anything else. Wow, that was easy.
That's when I got to go to YouTube, because I'm old school. That's why they call it a V belt, because everything's right in front of me. Water pump, crank sprocket, all of that. It's just all right there. But when it's got to go this way and that way and serpentine this way, and
I would have done that if I had to replace it. It would have been easier because I could just see it. But the belt had just completely been gone.
Right.
All of a sudden, driving down, and my power steering got stiff, and I said, "Oh, belt busted." So I pulled over, and the belt was gone. And I looked back in the road, and it was laying down there. So I went and got it. And
was it intact or was it broken?
Oh, it was broken. And I took it and I drove the rest of the way to the auto parts, because I knew I only have so much time before it overheats, because you don't have water going through there. And it was maybe a half mile to auto parts. So I pulled in there and got the belt. And then I'm like, and I even asked the people, I said, do you know where this belt's supposed to go because I don't know because the belt came off. And he comes out there and looks, and that was it. He went back in. And I went and looked on my phone and got the information there, and I had tools already on me, so plop, it was done. It took me not even 15 minutes after watching the video. And that's what YouTube's good for. There is good things about YouTube.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a plethora of it's an encyclopedia of whatever you want to call it.
Just like
without sounding creepy, my ex-girlfriend used to keep pantyhose in her glove box because if she broke a belt, that's what, you know.
I wouldn't do with the pantyhose nowadays, though.
No. I'm just saying this. You're talking 79. But yeah, I mean, there's so many little subtle things you can do to keep yourself on the road.
Oh yeah, I've done that many a times. Went got a bar of soap and rubbed it on the belt back and forth, and take the squeak out of it. Because that they sell a bottle that you spray on there, which you should never do because that stuff is horrible for your belts.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because they tell you, oh, you got a squeak, go get this spray stuff. Oh, it works good for a little bit, and then you start seeing parts of your belt coming off.
They want you to come back and buy a belt.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of those certain products that's supposed to work for certain things, I think it's kind of like it's a ploy. Just both sides keep making money.
Oh yeah.
Right.
You provide the problem and I'll provide the solution and we'll get rich.
Right. As long as you pay me.
Yeah.
All right. Let me look at these pictures here.
But yeah, you got to watch belts. You also got to watch your sprockets and your whatever's connected to whatever's driving the belt it's driving, because they can get funky too.
The first one kind of looks like a potato. Let me check out the second one.
Excuse me. Yeah, AT. I've heard of that too, brother.
The one is a tomato, and the other one it looks like might be a pea plant of some sort, bean.
Name that vegetable.
Right.
Well, I can. Are you still in here? Sorry.
I picked a buttload of cherry tomatoes yesterday.
Blackfoot, are you still in here? Oh yeah, there you are.
He's somewhere.
It's pretty cool. Yesterday evening, I was out tending to the garden and I sat down for a few minutes and was seeing these hummingbird fly around. I said, well, dang, they ain't going to come back. And I watched them, and they went over there. I actually got a little video. They went and was getting nectar out my lavender plants I got.
Awesome.
I got to get some hummingbird feeders out there for them. I imagine they don't get much from that little tiny one plant.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, them things are busy.
Oh yeah. We're in a drought right now, so I got to do some more watering tonight. But
see if you can. That one right there.
And what are we looking at?
That to me looks like a potato.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not 100%, but that, to
Right.
me, that looks like a potato.
Did they know, or they're asking you for your opinion?
I think they need. I think she needs
Oh,
to know if it is.
okay.
All right, I'm back. Oh, you talking about plants? Did you tell them what I done?
No. Wait a minute. Where you been? You just can't come back and just. What's that all about?
Hey, I don't want to hear no bullshit. It sounds like to me somebody done the same thing a little bit ago.
What do you think that plant is right there?
Fuck if I know.
I ain't never heard of one of
I'm
those.
with you, Jeff. I don't know either.
Well, hell, I'm just now coming back. I've not even heard the name of it.
We don't know.
What is it? The Puss in Boots?
Here is the other one.
Oh, wait a minute. I'll bet you it's a peckermator plant.
No,
That's when you crossbreed a pepper plant and a tomato plant, you get a peckermator.
Is that native to Is that native to the north?
If it ain't, it is now.
yeah,
Let's
that
see.
one right here looks like a tomato plant. If you can look toward the bottom of the leaves right there, that's a tomato plant. Now, what kind of tomato plant? It's hard to say.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't see any blooms on it or anything at the moment. And the bottom one kind of looks like a pea plant.
Yeah.
A pea mater. A mater pea.
I think once you start getting some blooms, then you can better identify it.
Oh yeah. See, I've got plants what I thought were tomato plants, but they're not tomato plants. or they're tomato, but I thought they were sundrop cherry tomatoes, and they're actually regular tomatoes.
Oh shit. Sounds like to me somebody got the seeds in the packages mixed up.
Well, I got them from Garden State Gardener. And that's what I'm thinking. He had the tomatoes seeds out there, and he labeled them and put the labels on the wrong one. Because I always like to plant new things, except my Cherokee tomatoes. Oh, they're so good.
You know,
I've been having a few tomato sandwiches every day here.
I hate to put a damper on
That's good for you.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Except for the bread. Bread's not so good.
Now, the other day I had a Cherokee tomato, and that was about the second, tomato I've had like that. And to me, a German Johnson or a bigger boy has got a little bit better taste than the Cherokee.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
You need to find a new place to get your Cherokee tomatoes.
I finally got a hold of some seeds. I planted some last weekend.
Here, I got some little ones out.
Now, wait a minute. We're talking about tomato seeds. We ain't talking about the other type seeds.
Well, that too,
Hey, I'll be at your house at harvest time.
But as warm as it gets down here, and we really don't have a frost till Christmas, maybe. I figure I got enough time to plant a few more squash, a zucchini, and some different type of tomatoes. My cherry tomatoes and the other ones still doing pretty good, but I know they're about reached their putting out power.
Ones.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's a good looking tomato.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
And
it's
nice. What is that? What tomato is that? Bush?
Purple Cherokee tomato.
Yeah,
they're not really purple, but they're darker.
Right. And
that's you can tell.
Kind of like a blood red.
Nice. That's nice. That looks like good for a grilled cheese sandwich. That one.
They don't make it that far.
Oh, I imagine.
You eat them before you
cucumber.
make the sandwich? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, all I do is slice them about an inch thick and
Put a little bit of
Sandwich.
salt and tomato.
Because I've got some. Well, I had some big ones.
Had. You notice how he said had.
Yeah.
Now ask him where it's at in his belly.
Yep.
Right. I love tomatoes.
Oh,
You
I
know,
know.
Jeff, my grandma used to call them maters. That was it.
We still call them maters. What do you mean?
She was born in 1898.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It might very well be.
Don't call them tomatoes. She says, no, they're maters.
Well,
That's
now
just-
our potatoes around here are pronounced taters with a T, not a T-O.
Right.
Yeah, that it might be a weed. It's hard to say at this moment, but it kind of looks like a pea or some sort of a bean. It's hard to say. You could, get one of the leaves and kind of smell it and see what kind of smell it has, and then Google it and see if you can. If it has a mint smell, it might be some sort of a mint. Because mint, there's tons of different varieties of mints.
Yeah. Ask Blackfoot how much she trusts our government.
No boy. Right. I have a question. Jeff, did you ever check the pH in your soil?
No, I didn't. I just don't have the stuff, and I never did run it up here to the hell, what do you call it? I'm just being lazy.
No, that's fine. Just checking.
There's
If
a device that you can get it at the store, usually about $10-15. You can put it in there and it'll tell you what the pH is.
Right.
Yeah, but that's my problem. With what I draw and my bills and everything, I don't even have $10 or $15 left over.
Yeah, but that's why I say it costs more to get your soil tested than get a tester.
Right.
A lot of people go and get their soil tested, and it costs $50, $80 to $100 to get it tested. And you can get a tester and just pop in the ground and just let it sit there and read what the pH is on it.
See, that's what I'm saying. I can't even afford to go get a $15 tester. The only way I can get my soil tested is if my neighbor's got one already. And hell, I couldn't even tell you what their names are.
Well, there is other ways, but
I'm not tasting it.
that's what I meant. Now, you think I'm joking, but that's used to be the way it was done. They would take it, put it in their mouth and swish it around, and you need a little of this, you need a little of that.
My father could do it. I look at him like he crazy as hell. Ain't mama feeding you?
Right.
But he was right.
Oh yeah.
My grandma, she had her garden was shaped like a brick. I mean, rectangular. So everything growed from left to right. And at the end of the garden, we had a 4-foot wide or 5-foot wide thing of a compost heap. And as a young man, which I'm no longer, I used to go down there and she'd make me till it, with a pitchfork.
Oh, damn.
And every season when I'd go fishing with my father for trout, you would not believe the night crawlers that would come out of that.
Oh, yeah.
Because we'd go over there every weekend and have dinner, and she'd say, drop the coffee grinds on there, drop the coffee.
Yeah.
So it's all coffee grinds. Any kind of, chopped up vegetables, all of that stuff. And she says, till it. And of course, I did what I was told, or I'd get the strap. So, not that I didn't want to do it, but my God, just doing that and what came from that was wow. She grew rhubarb, tomatoes, zucchini,
Wait a minute.
all that stuff.
Harvest Mary Moon. I don't think that's fair. I've seen more women talk a lot longer than men. Ha ha ha. Okay, I'm sorry, Eric. I interrupt.
No, you didn't. No, you don't. That's.
But
I
she
know
said-
HMM. I know HMM. Maybe that's directed at me. What are you doing, girl?
I couldn't let that get by without.
No, it's all good. There's great people in this chat.
Oh yeah, it is. You know, you get a few occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got that good manure, that bunny power out there.
Yep.
Oh,
Where I'm at right now, we use black cow.
That stuff
Bushcraft.
has increased my garden yield completely
Bushcraft.
since I got that.
You talking about me going out there tasting the dirt? Oh hell no! Because the people who lived here before I did raised goats on this whole property. I'm not going out there and eating their damn goat cheek crap.
All that is regurgitated
I
grass.
don't care what it is.
That's it.
It's a mental image coming out of my mind. Is what it is.
Just think of it, how the goats eat the grass.
Harvest Mary Moon, you need to flush your system.
It ain't that part that I'm worried about. It's the southbound
I'm
part.
telling you, that salt will eat your engine block. Do it. Flush it.
Are you serious? What Harvest Mary said.
Where are you, Watt? You're obviously outside.
Yeah, I'm sitting outside.
Okay.
I can a little bit, because it all depends. To me, rabbit's probably the easiest because as soon as they poop, you can put it in the garden.
Right.
Because it's not hot.
Right.
And what I mean by it's not
stinking.
When a cow or a pig or a horse poops, and if you have it in a pile, you can go over there and put your hand over top of it and feel the heat. Not when it comes out of their behinds, but when it sits there, it's breaking down, so it creates heat.
Right.
So if you put that in your garden, you'll burn up your plants because it's too hot. The soil gets too hot. So like
but I do know
those types of manure has to set for a year. And some people will buy these bags of manure and not knowing how long that it's been in that bag, they can actually put it in their garden and actually ruin their garden because it hasn't set long enough.
Too rich.
That's awesome. No,
I do know this for a fact.
Mm-hmm.
When a cow poops, you do not want to be standing close to it because you're going to get splattered.
Well, no, but it stinks too.
Only for a few minutes.
Yeah,
but it starts drying up.
You're right there, though. You got to go.
Unless you step in it.
You got to find a new hobby, man.
And
stop following.
Forbid if there is a flat rock. God forbid if there's a flat rock he's pooping on.
Right.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't just go and put it. It would be something, beginning of the year or something that I would work into the soil. Usually when I clean the rabbits area, I put it in the compost bin and mix it with my leaves, my grass, and whatever waste that I have for that. And,
Right.
and no, I'm not talking about anything that's meat product. It has to be all veggie safe. And then I would work it into it.
Mhm.
But there's other things you can do. You can actually put it in a bucket and put water in there and stir
Make the
it
sauce.
around, and then put a cap on it and let it set for a day or two.
Right.
Not more than that, because you won't be able to lift the lid off and stand there. But and then you can dilute that, and you can pour it on your plants, and that's good fertilizer.
Mountaineer Mama, your grandma was not exaggerating either. I mean, your mama was not exaggerating.
Yeah, what AT was saying, we get it. You have to mix it. You just don't put it in straight. You got to mix it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Topsoil.
It's one of the safer ones to do that, though. You just mix it in with the soil, and then you can sit there and plant. But yeah, it's not, throw it on there and it's fertilizer basically. It's a good builder for soil.
Sure. But one thing I can say from experience, and I get very little of this.
Oh yeah.
Is fish. When you skin a fish, you fillet a fish, don't get rid of the bones, don't get rid of nothing. Grind it up and put it around around your plants. I don't care if they're bushes, it doesn't matter.
Well, there's something even better to do with that, though. If you have the space, and I mean space to where you can move it to where you won't smell it, you get a 50 or a trash can, a big
that's going right. I get it.
30-gallon trash can, I think they are, and you fill it up and you put all the fish guts and the bones, the heads, everything in there, and you pour molasses in there, and then you put the lid on it and let it set. And 3-4 months down the road, you pour that liquid out, mix it with water, and you pour it on your garden. That's free fertilizer.
Right. And again, to add to
molasses
that,
cost.
Well, you need molasses to.
It's like a binder.
Yeah,
it's like adding sugar to yeast.
Right, right. But I don't do it all the time. But when I go out with my brother-in-law, I mean, we go out 80 miles, and it's not deep water. It's still only 100 and something feet, but it's a long ride. My ass is old, so. But when we bring it back, it's all the fish. It all gets brought in. It's filleted. It's given to the proper people. Sometimes we give it to needy families. You can call in Florida. You can call FWC, and they'll pick it up right at the dock. If you want to donate, which is a real good cause. So I just wanted to throw that out there to help needy families.
All that stuff is good.
But the bones, everything, fillets aside, they grind it up. It doesn't matter about whether it's vegetables, whatever, green plants. It has no whatever. It works on everything. And
you got to remember this. When the Indians was coming up teaching us how to grow stuff, they dropped dead fish down in there.
Right.
It's a little bit different than that. It's not like the little cartoons.
I ain't talking about cartoons now.
Yeah, well, there's a cartoon about how the Indians helped us grow plants and whatnot.
Right.
You've seen that one.
Yeah, that it was a little different than that. They didn't go out and just catch fish and drop the fish down in the hole and plant.
What was that? ABC Rock?
No, you have to stay in dirt a little while longer, you know. But yeah, that's how they used to do it like that. You know.
But I mean, it's good just even for the, your local gardener. I mean, just your citizen that just lives down your neighbor, whatever, give her or him a pound of whatever, and they let them disperse it, around their plants. And it's like a lightning rod, and the plants go poof. They do.
Oh yeah.
So just thought I'd put that out there.
That's why I said just little things you can see the difference. If you're skeptical about something like this, have one little area. If you're doing raised beds or something, have one bed and just try it out over there, and then watch the difference. And if it goes like crazy all of a sudden, and then that works good, I'll do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I have cucumber plants. I have 3, which they went nuts this year because last year I at the end of the season I took a few shovels of rabbit poop over there and just laid it out on top of the soil, and then the beginning of the year, about a month before it started, I worked that soil and worked the poop into the soil, and it just went crazy this year. I'm getting
Awesome.
10-15 pounds a day of cucumbers.
Yep.
Way too many.
It works.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing. I haven't went out and bought no fancy fertilizer, the 10-10-10 or the 13 or whatever it is. All I've used is rabbit poop.
Right.
What do you think about, and I can't pronounce his name or her name, Arcturus, what she posted?
Which one?
That's AK or AT.
AT.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm making moonshine equipment.
Yeah.
Depends your state and stuff.
Right.
But
I think that's kind of
corn seed.
I think that's kind of a BS statement. It's whatever. But anyway, like what Bush was saying, I saw today that what we do here in Florida is we go around to restaurants and we get all the old
coffee grounds.
The used shells from clams.
Oh.
And they put them in these really, really tough nylon bags. But it looks like a cyclone fence. I mean, you can see right through it, but they're tough. And we put them out and we make artificial reefs here. And we also do it on the East Coast too. So unfortunately, the sugar industry and the politicians are so horrible that, they try to stop this and that. But we're doing stuff every day to prevent this, this whatever. And it works. We're grabbing turtle grass up from different estuaries, and you dig them up and you bring them, and they'll bring them to Just go to fwc.com and it'll show you where they bring the turtle grass and they grow it, they regrow it and make it bigger, and then they replant it. And that just makes the whole estuary system so much better. And it gets rid of the the damage they've done with the fertilizer that they dumped into the water. Anyway, I'm sorry, Bush.
Don't feel bad. Jeff always gets the genders wrong.
Yeah, I was fixing to address that. No.
Usually, if Jeff says something, I'll think or automatically think the opposite because it's usually the opposite of what Jeff says.
I don't mean no disrespect to you.
No, Jeff, you're
I
cool.
apologize. But I
Yeah,
couldn't.
and as far as the rabbits to create poop, you can eat the rabbits.
Oh, hell yeah. In a heartbeat.
It's called Hassenpfeffer. Eat them.
And the thing is, I can't say anything because there's a lot of people think the rabbits I have are pets for their poop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything because I do get hate mail that I said I was gonna eat my rabbits.
Yeah, that's sad that you do, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, when shit hits the fan,
okay.
Let's see.
If you was real hungry though.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Let's see what they go to when they eat.
Yeah. I mean, veggies get you so far, and then you look at that nice juicy rabbit, even though he's got fur on. You haven't ate for a week or two. That rabbit looks good all of a sudden.
Rabbit looks damn good. And how many people have no idea how to skin a cow or a deer? You know, she'll test the fan.
I do.
Real
I can feel just that in 20 minutes.
Do you know I've never been deer hunting? And
Really?
Yeah, I have had chance among chance to step out my door and plug a deer. But the only reason I don't is because I do not know how to skin one. Nobody has never taught me.
The skinning part's easy.
See, it may be to you. I've never done it. So how am I supposed to know?
Well,
and I have heard that if you don't do it right,
it depends. If it's a male, there are
Right.
glands that you need to take out or be careful of. I'll put it that way.
see,
And
again, nobody has showed me.
Google it and find out where the glands are. That's
Right.
the main things you don't want to do is puncture the pee-pee spot.
Or the liver or the kidneys.
Yeah, the liver too. You basically don't want to touch any organ.
Okay.
Now you can eat some of these organs, but it's good not to mix them with your meat, basically. And there's glands on the legs, on the males. They're probably on a female too, but you don't have to worry about them. And you just skinning is the easy part. It's making sure you don't hit any organs is the main thing.
Be charming, come on down to the house. I got deer I'm not going to shoot deer in my own yard, but
We need to get her up on panel. I'm sorry.
I'd love to get her.
I need to put a voice to a name, but that's just me.
Yeah, she's the one who lives in New York, correct? Be charming.
No, she lives by me in Florida.
Yeah, she's in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking of the other one that lives up in New York. She's got an awesome.
Grace.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Susie D, what you just said. That's
You
what
know, that's
Yeah.
kind of damn shame.
Don't-
There's
don't.
more women in this chat that knows how to
Exactly.
skin a deer than most
Absolutely.
men.
There's
Wow.
women that are in this chat that are more informed than most men. It's
Yeah.
my God.
I mean, that's what about the fourth or fifth woman I've seen not to cut.
Now, when I learned kind of by my grandpa, he would say here and hand me the knife and say to do this, and but the main time I learned was in McConnellsville, Ohio. I came across the guy. We became friends. We lived in the same area, and he was, well, a redneck. I'll put it that way. And we went out ginsenging. We went out yellow roots, all kinds of stuff. A lot of stuff we did wasn't on the up and up, but it's what, if you grew up in the hills, that's what you did. One thing we did was we went hunting for deer, and it wasn't a certain time of the you're supposed to do this, but we went with 22s because 22s was an effective way to kill, and it was very quiet.
Right.
And we would take down a deer, field dress it with, when I say field dress, it would just take out the innards, and within 5 minutes, and we were gone.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes we couldn't field dress right then and there. We had to put said creature in the back of a trunk. One time, one time we was at a light. Here comes the sheriff pulls up beside us. And all of a sudden,
Yeah.
and the deer wasn't dead.
Oh no!
And
Damn.
he's looking over at us, and we're going like we're listening to music, banging on the dash, and he's going, okay, and he drives off, and
Y'all looked up.
yeah, we got real lucky. And the thing is, you think of ways to do this stuff, and it wasn't like we were feeding families, not only ours and his, but other people that needed meat and stuff. We would go home. A lot of times we would do this stuff in a bathroom.
It's not about abusing the resource.
Oh yeah.
You were doing what you needed to do.
Yeah. And we would actually clear out everything in the refrigerator that didn't need to be in there, and we would set the meat in big slabs and quarters and whatnot in the refrigerator and let it set over there 24 hours or whatnot. And then we would butcher it and split it up, grind it up, or whatever. That's what we did to feed our families and stuff.
Right.
Well,
in that area, there was no jobs. What we did, we worked all day long, providing food, and would go out ginseng hunting, berry picking. Would go in the bush and get parts for old TVs and sell the copper and things like that.
So, hey, Bush.
Yeah.
That's what you call what a real man does.
Oh, yeah.
Period. Period. No, period. Done.
Now, wait a minute. I agree with you 100%. There's a difference in going out and providing for a family. What pisses me off more than anything is to be walking through the woods and see a nice buck laying there with his horns cut off.
Oh, yeah.
Right there pisses me off more than anything. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Because that's meat that could have went to somebody to help them out.
Yep.
Yeah, that's one thing you say about like game wardens and stuff. If they find that they have to take the animal, they'll take it somewhere and have it to where the meat gets donated to a family or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, now, don't they do hogs the same way down in Florida, down the south?
No, I'll shoot them sons of bitches all the time. They're good. And they get eaten. They get
And that's
eaten.
where
And they're good.
I'm
They're good.
Is, you know, don't they, let's say like if one person has a freezer full of hogs or something like that, and he shoots one, don't
Give
he
it to your neighbor.
somebody? Hello?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You left me hanging here.
Yeah.
Especially if you have somebody come over and help you dress it out and clean it and
There you
slice
go.
it up, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You always throw somebody something.
Well, see, I can respect people like that.
Listen, I'm going to pose a question to this chat. This is a very smart chat. Very smart. You Google the damage that a feral hog does yearly.
Oh yeah,
Not just in Florida, but everywhere. Google it. Don't take my word for it. Google it.
Do y'all have open
season? The way they damage things, and then you'll see what I'm talking about.
Now, Eric, do they have like an open season on feral hogs down there, or is it just certain time of the year you can?
I haven't looked at hunting season here, but I think it's probably open.
Okay.
I know that on gators they've got open or different seasons. And then they've got this big thing down here, down in Miami, where you can go out and shoot all these lizards.
Yeah, I've seen that.
All they are is pets. And people are driving up in boats and they're using compound bows. And they just bang.
The iguanas.
Oh, it's crazy. Wow, it's crazy.
Now,
I've seen people eat them.
Pellet guns on them, but not bows.
Yeah. There's actually, I saw a YouTube video.
They taste like chicken.
Yes. I saw a YouTube video today where there's a guy going under a bridge, and it's not a double bridge, but it has it has a pylon in between left and right, and he's using a CO2, a rifle, but it's pushed by air, and they're just pop, 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 pop. I mean, this stuff is getting crazy.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
I have too.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about this, they've got pellet guns out now that will kill a water buffalo.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I mean, damn! Have you checked the price of those out? They cost more than a regular.
Eric, how did you like that channel I sent you to? The
402.
Yeah.
Awesome.
101's going live tonight.
Yeah, you've already shared it out, right, Bush? I mean, that's. I mean, they're real. I mean, they're funny too, and they're good people. I like good people. I don't like bullshit.
Let me see if I can find that channel.
Did you hear me? 101 will be going live tonight.
Yeah, I seen it.
Okay.
Chris, I see Chris a lot over on Josh's Dig Ministries. I don't know. I think it's open season on pythons. And you all got to remember that everything that they find here is people that they're not indigenous to Florida. They're not. They're just things that people have let go. So think about it. You've got this perfect scenario of a subtropical environment, and then it can eat pigs, it can eat squirrels, it can eat birds, it can eat
A deer?
people, it can eat people. It can be, you know what I mean? And that's why we have this problem with serpents. So
Yeah, the channel right there. Now, don't freak out because there are girls involved in this, but just sometimes.
I'll be right back.
The main thing is the fishing of it. But there are the 2 girls, sometimes 3 girls, but they do bow fishing, regular fishing on a boat. He goes out, him and his dad go out and catch pike, all kinds of stuff. They're in South Dakota right now. They go all over.
Seems like I've seen that.
Yeah.
Before.
The whole thing came up about the Bud Light, which they had Bud Light on the boat at one time, and they said they don't support none of that at all. You may see it in the video, but it'll be in an older video. They said we don't drink that stuff anymore. He made a big old speech about it and everything on a separate video. Because yeah, he didn't go for that stuff.
Yeah, Susie D. Bush, if you want to address that. I have a detached garage, and I had a lizard. I think it's called a horned something. This thing actually had horns, off of his skull, and was up. You've got an awesome chat, so they'll figure it out. But when I tried to get him out of the garage, I could hear this bang, 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 because he couldn't find a way out.
Oh wow!
And Bush, this was a big ass lizard, and I'm like, out, and out he went. So now what we have is what we call a 2K gecko. Okay, and they breed like rabbits. They breed and breed and breed and breed, and they're all over the place. So it's another example. They're cool, but it's just another example of when you introduce, or let go, something that's not indigenous to the pop,
Yeah, look at the alligators that were let loose in New York City.
Right.
They went down and found giant alligators in the...
Yeah, and because they bred. So,
have you seen the story? I think it's somewhere in Africa. It's like a cave in Africa where these crocodiles have lived in absolutely no light for so long that they've almost created an entirely new subspecies of crocodile.
Oh, really? Huh. No, I ain't seen that.
I don't know if I've seen that.
I can't remember the city or the country in Africa, but it's you could Google cave crocodiles in Africa. I'm pretty sure it will pop up. That was pretty interesting, I thought.
Man, that'd be heck to be in a cave and running across some of those.
Oh yeah.
Forget about
a crocodile, but they kind of looked albino or kind of, I don't know, weird.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Eric, when I lay my hands on a 7mm, I'll come down there and do some ore hunting with you.
Oh,
Mr. Jeff, if you got a 7mm, you do your thing.
Well, I've seen a whole bunch of YouTubes where they take a pop shot at one of them, and the ore will maul that person. So when I make that first shot, I don't want that sucker back up.
Oh, you don't want to miss, that's for sure.
No.
That's what I'm saying, because
And you know
they
what?
are worse than a grizzly bear.
Yeah,
And what people
coyotes.
don't really realize is gators are very good eating. They are.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I Gator's pretty good. Tastes like chicken, but it's good.
Roast the whole thing like you would a hog.
Yeah. And here you got to get a tag. It's all regulated, which is good.
Yeah.
That's why I love this state. Everything is regulated.
I'm talking wild boar. I ain't talking gator.
Well, I imagine they got.
Where at are you, Mountaineer? I think I remember, but I can't remember. Oklahoma. I know Oklahoma has a real bad problem with.
I'd love to come out there and do some target practice.
There's a bunch of them here on the river.
Really?
Yeah, big population. They've gotten a lot bigger the last couple of years. I don't know what happened.
So now we're talking about hogs. Okay, cool.
I will tell you this: where I live at,
Both.
When the weather starts getting cold and everything, I can step out in my yard, and in one direction I can hear coyotes, and the other direction I can hear wolves.
Right.
You know, and I'm sitting here thinking, damn, I'm right in the middle. What happens if they decide to have a turf war on my property?
Well, down
They're
south,
called Bigfoot.
down south, all you need to do is contact a farmer, a landowner. He will give you written permission to go out and kill hogs, period. Got nothing to do with season. That's how bad they're.
Yeah,
They'll destroy an entire crop.
They are destroying.
Check your state also.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But they're destroying everything, Jeff. They are.
Well, see, the point of the matter is, come straight in. That's free food.
West Virginia. Okay.
I'm looking at it.
Well, it depends on the age of the hog too. The older they get, you ain't eating that.
The tougher it gets.
No, but you got to kill it. It doesn't matter whether you're eating it or not. Kill it.
But like I said, I don't want that sucker getting back up. Period. And if I have to take a damn bazooka out there to go hog hunting,
okay, Jeff, we're on Bushcraft family.
Right.
Okay. But if I have to grab other means of protection, then I'm going to do it. Damn.
Yeah, I've noticed in Ohio they've been talking about the coyotes are having issues about them up here too.
Real up there?
Yeah. And
everywhere probably.
Mountaineer Mama, she's in West Virginia.
Mountaineer Mama's in West Virginia?
Yeah. I don't know why I thought she was in Oklahoma. But I do know Oklahoma's always had issues with them.
That ain't too far from me, and it's not too far from you either.
Yeah.
Shit, we can have fun. Let's go to West Virginia.
Well, they've people's taking pictures in town here of coyotes.
Now I will.
And if you have little critters, pet critters, they will eat them.
Oh hell yeah!
Dogs or cats. And that's one reason I have cameras all over the place. One reason is when something walks in my yard, I know it. Any part of my yard. And I can decide what to do after that.
Well, now a town that I grew up in, it was last month. My daughter even shared it up on, I'm going to say Facebook. There was a black bear in town.
Right.
And this is going to sound like, I'm trying to be funny and everything, but I'm not. If I could share the video, y'all would see. The black bear went up to the drive-through window at KFC. And evidently they told him, we wasn't serving you, and he got pissed off and ran across the road.
Yeah.
And all that shit's on tape.
Yeah, there's one where these girls in a fast food place give a pie to a raccoon every day, and one of these days they're not going to give them something, or they're going to have somebody else working there.
Yeah,
and that little raccoon's going to freak out because he's not getting that food all the time.
I mean, there is a reason for them people putting up a sign, "Do not feed the critters." Yeah. Now, which one is it you don't want to see? Is it the wolf or is it the coyote?
No, wolf. You're not messing. Wolves hunt in packs.
Okay.
And if you see one wolf, you're pretty screwed because more than likely you're surrounded by 8 to 10 other ones.
Okay.
That's the thing that scares me the most. Well, a mountain lion, you will never see him until he's on your back, unless you have a dog or something like that. But that's usually how people find a mountain lion, is they jump you from behind and whatnot. Bears. I'm not as scared of a bear as I would be a pack of wolves. Pack of wolves is so much more dangerous than a bear, in my opinion. I've been in New York and I've seen a big black bear just come up to me and walk across a river and fish in front of me.
If a black bear come up to me, I would definitely have to change my underwear.
No, you wouldn't have to change. Well, yeah, you've already shit yourself. I get it.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I will say this right here. I don't care who you are. A person cannot outrun a black bear. You'd stand a better chance of running.
There are tricks of outrunning a black bear or a grizzly. If you're running downhill,
a chance of outrunning the grizzly than you would a black bear.
Either one. There's ways of doing it. I was taught this the hard way.
Yeah, but how many people know how to do that?
Oh yeah, and if it happens, do you have the calmness to do it?
Right.
Oh, AT is 100%.
You run down a hill, and because they're so top heavy, you take a right or left real quick, and he'll keep on going because he can't stop.
Yeah,
I guarantee you he's going to turn around and come back after you, though. And all this talk about, climb a tree.
No, yeah, I can climb too.
They climb better than you can.
No, you're right, Bush. All you need to do is get on the tube and look at.
There you go.
Type it in. Like
run faster than the people.
Repelling bear, and it'll show you.
If you are with me and I see you're fixing to outrun me, I'm going to trip your ass. Straight up.
Yeah, and there's the one where, I'll play dead.
That don't work.
No, he going to take you home and eat you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. They prefer to have
he'll eat half of you there and eat half later.
You know, the hard work's over with.
Right.
And AK also mentioned a woman at that time of the month.
Yes.
They will attract them quicker than anything else. So
Zombies too.
no, she did.
Yes. And dogs can smell your adrenaline level too.
Yep.
I have a lot of experience with this because I deal with 2 older parents that are basically homebound. So people that come in my front door, my dog is not a guard dog, but he's a snot knocker. And if he don't like you, he's going to bite your ass. And he knows right away who's who and who's not. So
I got one question for you, Eric. Do you have signs up saying beware dog?
in the alley, I do.
Take them down.
Out front, because I'm normally the guy that opens the door.
Take them down. Because if you have signs up saying beware of dog, if it ever comes to court, then they're going to say you knew that dog would attack. So therefore, you are responsible.
Okay.
In different states, so
Right.
always
Right.
always
Yeah,
check
but
it
It
out.
all depends on the municipality, because I did have one guy that tried to get in, and he literally pulled the fence. You know how a chain link fence has that U? It's
Yeah.
shaped like a U, and it goes over the bar.
Yeah.
And he leaned on that so far to pop it, and he went in to read a freaking gas line or get a meter, and my dog chased his butt out, and I'm like, but I don't want to get into it. But in other words, it was Jack. Jack will attack.
See now, AT agrees with me in chat.
And he did attack because he closed the gate. And even though he's got these cyclone fence, these things, all I could hear is, and that was his jaws. He's trying to bite his fingers. And I'm like, why did you break into my home?
I got a friend that lives down the road from me, and he told me him and his family took off, and when they come back, he had a pair of pants in the house that had a little bit of blood on them, and his dog was laying on them. So whoever broke into his house is running around without no pants on.
Right.
To me, that dog did what the hell he was supposed to do.
That's right.
Right.
Well, nowadays they run around with their britches below their butt cheeks anyway,
Well, evidently, that dog didn't have to work hard.
and they walk like that. I don't get that.
But
And
the
I'll
thing
always
that
make a joke about it because back in the 80s and stuff,
You're right, Mountaineer Mama.
they didn't get in trouble as much because they could run. Nowadays they can't run because they got their pants fall down and trip them.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right,
Now,
right.
yesterday,
right, exactly. But at the end of the day, he had been with the city for over 30 years, and I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm like, don't be a dumbass. Why did you lean on my fence to pull it out, to pop and get in? And then my dog, it sounded like a freaking quarter horse going down the back.
damn.
Just like Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. And
Beware the bear.
yeah, and whatever. But it just be aware of what you're doing, and you know what I mean. You don't have to beware of dog. If your fence is locked, it's locked for a reason. Period.
Mhm.
So,
And I'd
You would
suggest everybody
seem to
have
think-
cameras up too.
You would seem to think that would be the cause, but they got some damn lawyers out there that would argue with you on that.
mhm. Yep.
And look, I'm sorry, okay, but it's like this. At a certain time of the night, My door is closed and locked. You come into my house, and I'm going to leave it alone at that because I'm fixing to get my damn ass in trouble.
All I'm going to hear is pow.
You just use your imagination.
No,
Okay.
I know exactly what's going to happen. And
Yeah,
right,
Okay, it's about time. 101 probably getting ready to start here shortly. Oh,
I think he just did.
yeah, he just went live. So everybody head over to 101s. I put the link in chat and
just mention the word peccamators.
no, type in beware the bear.
Hey, that'll work.
There you
Beware the bear.
And not only that, everyone remember, the worst thing you can encounter is a sow with her cubs.
Oh yeah.
She will hunt you. She will hunt you down and rip your throat out. Do not mess with a mother bear.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't care if it's a grizzly or a black bear, whatever. Don't mess with a mother bear. Period.
Yeah.
Sorry,
don't mess with Mother Nature. Period. We'll catch you guys later. We'll probably see you Monday. Remember, meet you over there and say, beware the bear.
That's it.